uh, Commodore Tarriela.
Vlog.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not a blogger though. I'm the spokesperson of the Philippine Coast Guard when it comes to the West Philippine Sea. To the esteemed chairpersons and the distinguished members of this tri-committee, my co-workers in the government, and my fellow countrymen, isang magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. I was honestly pleased to learn about the House of Representatives' decision to hold a public hearing addressing fake news, disinformation, and misinformation on social media. I believe this presents an opportunity for us to finally establish legislation that holds trolls, influencers, and bloggers accountable for their online content. It is important to note that one of the greatest challenges facing the Philippine government in the West Philippine Sea, aside from China's bullying, unlawful activities, and aggressive actions, is combating the spread of fake news and disinformation that obscures the true narrative of events in the West Philippine Sea, leading to confusion and division among our people. Teka lang, sir. When President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. took office in 2022 and declared that he would not surrender an inch of our territory to any foreign power, many questioned the meaning behind his words, especially since the previous administration claimed that all was peaceful and under control in the West Philippine Sea. This misconception stemmed from the belief that the prior administration had effectively managed the situation in the West Philippine Sea. Between 2016 and 2022, only 3 incidents were reported to the media. The first one is in 2019 when Filipino fishermen from Mindoro reported that their boat, FB Jimber, was rammed by the Chinese maritime militia in Recto Bank. The second incident was in 2021 when the AFP chartered resupply boat was hit by water cannon. And the last one on that same year when over 210 Chinese maritime militia were reported by the Philippine Coast Guard swarming near Julian Felipe Reef. The limited reporting of these incidents, combined with the narrative that the former president's diplomatic effort had successfully convinced Xi Jinping to allow our fishermen to operate freely, contributed to the false sense of security among the Filipino people regarding the West Philippine Sea. Therefore, for President Marcos to deliver his commitment of not surrendering a square inch of our territory to any foreign power, he has to unite the Filipino people. And the only way that we can unite our highly polarized country is to awaken their sense of patriotism with the right information. This is the reason why the Transparency Initiative of the National Task Force West Philippine Sea was launched in 2023, and it has 2 main objectives. First, it aimed to raise awareness among the Filipino people about the realities in the West Philippine Sea, emphasizing why these issues matter, and outlining the legitimate basis of our position. It is important to highlight that President Marcos' commitment of not surrendering is a goal that may be challenging if Filipinos lack enough understanding of what we are fighting for. It is an open book that President Bongbong Marcos has inherited a nation where fake news and disinformation have dominated the discourse surrounding the West Philippine Sea issue. Secondly, the Philippines sought to expose Chinese aggression to help the global community to recognize that there exists a powerful nation in this region that disregards international law, jeopardizing peace and stability in this part of the globe. We wanted the world to understand that the Philippines' struggle in the West Philippine Sea is not merely about our maritime jurisdiction. It is a fight for everyone who supports a rules-based order and believes that international law serves as the equalizer for all nations, regardless of size. Fortunately, over the past 2 years, we have successfully achieved our objectives. Regarding the awareness of the Filipino people, a recent survey conducted by Okta Research revealed that 84% of Filipinos support the national government's efforts to defend and assert our maritime rights in the West Philippine Sea. Additionally, a Pulse Asia poll indicates that 7 out of 10 Filipinos are unlikely to support pro-China candidates in the upcoming 2025 midterm election. However, as we have successfully countered fake news and established a strong factual narrative in cyberspace, we have seen a significant increase in pro-China trolls. This has only strengthened the resolve of the National Task Force West Philippine Sea to be more transparent in exposing China's actions, as no amount of falsehood can prevail against the truth. Despite our efforts, social media platforms, as reported by the DICT in the last committee hearing, have become the primary medium for these trolls to disseminate disinformation and fake news, reaching a large portion of our population. The narrative of these trolls can essentially be categorized into 5 main arguments. First, they claim that our legal standing in the West Philippine Sea is weak. They undermine the 2016 arbitral award, and they even asserted that the PRC holds a much more justifiable historical claim with regard to their 9- now 10- lines. Secondly, they present a distorted version of events, echoing China's narrative that incidents occur due to Philippine actions that resulted to vessel collisions, for example. Binangga na tayo, papalabasin pa ng trolls, Philippine Coast Guard ang may kasalanan dahil tayo daw nabangga ng China Coast Guard. Third, they argue that the Philippines' decision to stand firm against the People's Republic of China's aggression is merely dictated by the United States, suggesting that our transparency efforts are actually orchestrated by the Americans under the guidance of Ray Powell. Fourth, they even employ a defeatist argument, claiming that we are powerless against China, and that insisting on our rights could even lead to war, and it would be easy for China to invade the Philippines in just a matter of days. Lastly, they contend that the tensions in the West Philippine Sea have only escalated under the current administration of President Bongbong Marcos. They said that there were no such tensions during the time of former President Duterte. Another damaging tactic employed by pro-China trolls is to attack the messenger. When we launched our transparency initiative aimed at exposing Chinese aggression in the West Philippine Sea, I was relatively unknown, having just returned from Tokyo after my PhD studies. However, as we gained traction the weeks following our launch, I became a target for these trolls who sought to tarnish my reputation as a Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea. They unearthed and amplified the fact that I was a discharged cadet from the Philippine Military Academy, that I was not able to graduate from PMA. And they even attempted to portray my postdoctoral fellowship in Washington as the time of my recruitment as a pawn of the United States government. Their attacks even escalated, labeling me as a pro-US lapdog and even a CIA recruit, that even my mother is having a difficult time to understand dahil wala daw po sa mukha kong maging CIA. Eventually, they fabricated another lie, alleging that I was even receiving a $4 million talent fee from the US Embassy. Kung may $4 million akong talent fee, kahit isang bayad lang, hindi na siguro ako haharap sa Kongreso ngayon. When that failed to damage my reputation and public confidence in me, they even went further, concocting a story that I visited personally the residence of Speaker Romualdez to receive 3 black bags. Although hindi nila sinabi kung ano ang laman ng black bags, but for the record, I don't even know the address of Speaker Romualdez. While these lies are absurd, and they're not only frustrating, but also deeply unfair to my family, I am committed to my role in exposing Chinese aggression and raising awareness among the Filipino people so that we can unite as one nation with a renewed sense of patriotism. My efforts are not motivated by the Americans, nor for any political ambition. My dedication is for the future generation of Filipinos. The awareness we instill in today's youth will reshape the future direction of our struggle in the West Philippine Sea. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commodore Tarriela.